before you trim your corners, take them just kind of like at random, and don't even use a pointer, just use your finger and turn them and see if these things are flat. See? Now the only reason this is flat right now is because we didn't sew any of the seam allowance. It makes it flexible. It stretches right into the corner. And if I take this corner, I don't have to have both of them right away. See, you can look at these, and then you can give it a quick, match up. Like, see if these things line up, okay? Because once you start cutting, you cannot really go back and fix anything, right? So you want to be ahead of that. Okay, in here, and in here now, I'm going to leave this side alone, but this side here. Okay, you're going to trim across, clip that is. And also, see, these seam allowances in here, you can work them back a little, see, to get them to be a little flatter, see. That's why you left them open, so you could do that, to make the corners. And then in here, you can also grate them a little bit more, because when you turn the corners, see, you don't want to necessarily be having too much stuff in there. So you'll grate them just a little bit. Same down here. Just grate them up. And before we press it open, and down here, you can clip where the hem is. Not over here. You got to clip here. And bring it in from this way. Trim it down a little bit, okay? And then we'll turn that. This is untouched. What we need to go over is the part, before we press it now, is the part where we have to understitch. Now, the understitch for the collar, the understitch, see, for the collar is the undercollar, the one with the bias, right? Your bias. So what you have to do here is you take your collar now and you move the seam to the back piece, which is, because you'll be sewing on top of the undercollar. So where's my scissors? My pins. So you take the seam allowance, see? You take this whole seam allowance, both sides, not open. You take both sides, like understitching, remember? And you just have to make sure it's flat. So we're going to understitch, like right here, 1/16 of an inch. So you can fold this and give yourself an outline where the understitch is. So this one is going to be on this side. And you're catching both of them. Remember, don't press it open. Whatever needs to be pressed open, we do after that. Okay, we're going to understitch. See, now this part, that's that part. So we write in here, okay? And as you sew, you have to put it under the machine open. You know, you take this whole thing open. You keep this as close as you can in the corner, and you understitch on the back side with the bias, the undercolor. You do, but you got to make sure that this is flat, and you don't end up with some kind of, you know, tuck or something.
So what you're showing right here is this top right here?
Right. That's same piece.
So then we'll be trimming it.
Part, yeah, right? you understitch. And that's why I gave you a little bit more seam allowance so that, you know, you can handle that a little better. Now, on this side is, now here we have the two sides. You know, we're going to be poking these things out. But, you see, now this is your front, right? Mm-hmm. Now remember, that's this side. Okay, we're looking at the same side here. Your lapel, once it's finished, is going to open up this way, right? Mm-hmm. So you just have to follow the way things work. If you are confused, just think about how the jacket is going to open up. So it falls like that, right? So the seam has to be underneath, which means the understitch is on this side. So again, you take your seam allowance and you move it in that direction. You move the seam allowance into the direction that you're going to be sewing. So it's this side. So you'll be understitching on this side. And you want to make yourself a little note of where the clip is, okay? So ahead of time, you might want to just put a pin there or something to mark that area. And then take it back out from, see? So you're only going to do it from as far as you can go here. You see, it's not all the way up, just as far as the machine allows you, then up to here. Okay, so it's going to come right up to there. And then, so if you got this in place, then automatically it tells you that this piece here is on this side, on the underside. So then once we did this part, now what you do is you clip, there's already a clip, and you move your seam allowance into the facing part.
Good Lord.
I know, I told her, do we have to do this?
Goodness.
Yes, the industry does that though. I know, I said it's going to be not that easy for them. But on the other hand, you guys are smart. You can do it. It's really not that hard. It's just that you have to be a little, you got to focus on it. Okay?
Remember a lot.
It's just like me and the computer. Everybody tells, oh, it's easy. I'm sweating and having anxieties and.
That's so you can understand them.
Oh, I know.
I'm
totally.
Tell me to like that. Stop stressing.
I know. I know exactly where everybody is because you know, we all have our.
Nightmares about
you
sewing.
Guys can. I mean, I have this 5-year-old great-granddaughter who knows more about a computer than I do. I think.
She's like, let me do this.
Okay. All right. This is how far I want to go because I want to keep it so I can finish the rest with the other class. But this is the understitching part. Then once you did that, then you just kind of go back in, do your corners, press your seams. Try to, wherever you can, press them open, you know, and just work your way around the whole color, pressing it from the inside and then turning it and then press it from the outside. And you'll find when you press it from the outside that automatically, you know, this will kind of pull over a little, so that's where you get that nice roll, you know, into the lapel. Now, if at any point you get stuck, I mean, I don't want you to ruin it. That's going to be fine. If there's anything, you can always hand sew it, because it's very hard to get in there with the machine again. So if there is a little opening in here, you just go with hand stitch in there later on. Okie doke? See how? And if you're really ambitious after that, you can always set your sleeve in.
We can set the sleeve in after that?
Yeah, just make sure the right sleeve is in the right armhole. You got to line up by your notches.
I have a question about the sleeve. Yeah.